MarkRogersTV on college football. The Ohio State Buckeyes, written off, given up for dead after losing 3 early season games in 2011, back in the Big Ten championship hunt, despite turmoil and controversy in the offseason like we haven't seen in college football since SMU back in the mid-1980s. Despite a rookie head coach, Luke Fickell, consider what this guy walked into, what was thrown at him in taking over this program with this spotlight in place of Jim Tressel. Luke Fickell looked like a deer in headlights at times in his preseason press conferences and strategically in that Miami game, keeping 3 timeouts in his back pocket while that was still a one-possession game midway through the fourth quarter in Miami. Despite starting a quarterback in senior Joe Bosserman, who wasn't just horrible, he looked like a high school quarterback. Seriously, a high school quarterback. Look at the games. Not just the numbers, but the game tape really says it. But the numbers were horrible too. 46% overall, but specifically against Michigan State, Nebraska, and Miami. Bosserman went 2 for 14 against Miami. He was 1 for 10 against Nebraska. We're not talking about games in which there was a heavy pass rush or receivers were dropping passes. He was that bad. In particular, against Michigan State, consecutive passes to the left and right sidelines. He missed out routes where the receivers had the ball drop 5-6 yards in the dirt in front of them. Bosserman, horrible. And speaking of that Michigan State game, and talk about horrible, the Buckeyes offense was so bad, you couldn't even get a feel for what they were trying to do on offense. The blocking was non-existent. Most of the plays blown up in the backfield. Ohio State had less than 100 yards of total offense until the final drive of the game. But here we are, 3 weeks later. The Buckeyes have won 3 consecutive games, and they're back in the hunt. They just need one Penn State loss in addition to them running the table, and they'll play for the Big Ten Championship in Indianapolis and a possible 7th straight Big Ten Championship. Ohio State, with the most talented roster still in the Big Ten, could once again be the best in the Big Ten. And here are 4 reasons why Ohio State fans should be very hopeful for the next 3 weeks and beyond. Number 1 is Boom Herron. This guy I considered to be a very good back, but I really appreciate this guy now. I thought Carlos Hyde and Jordan Hall, 2 highly recruited backs, would be able to replace Boom Herron. They could not. He has made an incredible difference in the offense. He's run for 114, 160, and 141 in his 3 games back. He has been remarkable. He's got the power and the explosiveness that the other 2 backs do not have. That combination has been tremendous in balancing out that offense and giving Ohio State the ground game that they need in place of what they don't have through the air. Which brings us to Braxton Miller. Braxton Miller, the freshman, should have been starting from day one. He did not. And sure, he was going to make some mistakes, and he looked overwhelmed at times. One of the Buckeyes offensive linemen commented that against Michigan State, Braxton Miller was flat out scared. But he's scared no longer. He's making huge plays with his feet. In comparing him to Terrell Pryor, Braxton Miller is not as fast as Terrell Pryor. He's not going to outrun guys as easily as Pryor, but he's much quicker in small spaces. Much quicker, and he's getting stronger. Again, just a freshman. And he's starting to throw the ball really well. He's starting to throw it much more confidently, zipping the passes. He looked like Pryor throwing the ball, pushing the ball downfield early in the season. Now he's delivering the ball with velocity. And no, the passing numbers are not huge, but he's making the right plays, and he's not turning it over. 2 picks this season in 74 pass attempts. Braxton Miller's been remarkable. And that coming out party against Wisconsin and that game-winning touchdown pass to win the game against the Badgers was, again, incredible. On the defense, Johnathan Hankins. I love this guy. Sophomore, 335, run stuffer. Maybe if he continues to develop, we're looking at another Marcel Darius or Nick Fairley in the middle in college football. Johnathan Hankins, number 52, watch for him. He is a load, listed at 335. He's probably 360. And also, I love Bradley Roby, defensive back, a freshman out of Georgia. This guy has great cover skills and great skills overall, ball skills for a freshman. It's amazing to watch him play man-to-man defense. He's got 3 interceptions, including a huge one against Illinois as the Buckeyes took that game despite no passing game. Bradley Roby, a great pass defender, already as a freshman, and he will lay the lumber like a linebacker. He had a huge hit last week against Indiana. So there you have it for the Buckeyes. 3 games left: Purdue, Penn State, and Michigan. Buckeyes run the table, get a Penn State loss, go to the championship game. We'll see what happens. Please join us for our picks later in the week. We are 17-5 against the spread in our confidence picks. So look out for those, and would love to hear what you have to say about the Buckeyes, the Big Ten, or anything in college football on Mark Rogers TV.